Welcome to Coach's Roundtable. I'm Ed Cody, and welcome our guest, the award-winning reporter and sports director, 93.7 The Fan, Jeff Hathhorn. Jeff, thanks for joining us. Let's look at this Steeler situation with quarterback I've called drama and a soap opera, the search for the next quarterback. Jeff, what's going on here? Who's making this decision? And now, before I start here, if Justin Fields was your guy, and why didn't you match the offer from the Jets? And now it seems like to me they really don't want Russell Wilson. So their only option is Aaron Rodgers. And I'm saying why?
Well, so let's go back. Let's take Art Rooney at his word that they wanted to get younger, that they wanted a younger quarterback, and someone that they could, build around. But youth was a factor in this decision. I'm with you. Listen, I don't know if Justin Fields is a franchise quarterback or not, but he's 26. He's been around the league. I think if you dive into him, maybe you have an opportunity. Like, look at the Ravens. So they had Lamar Jackson, and they kind of teased with his skills. Then they changed coordinators and just dove into all that he is and made the offense all about him. Again, I don't know if Fields is that type of talent, but I would rather see that because at least then I know, well, maybe you're going to get into something that could be good for 10 years. Now you're pushing it down the line. You're kicking the can. You're bringing in a stopgap guy. And to your earlier point, I mean, this is Mike's call. This is Mike Tomlin's call. I mean, they believe they can win this year. And they will tell you that they were in the playoffs and they've been in the playoffs recently. And what's keeping them from advancing in the playoffs is that type of quarterback play or some of the areas that they addressed or a more experienced offensive line. And they think some of these young guys will be better. Uh, I don't think they're that close. I look at it this way. I look at them as like a 15 seed in the NCAA tournament. Oh yeah, they got in, but then they got throttled when they got in and really had no chance of winning it. So what are we building here? Are we building a 15 seed or are we trying to build a one seed? And if you're trying to build a one seed, I'm looking at building that foundation. And then when you're able to get that quarterback, the rest of the pieces are in place like 2004. You get Ben, then all of a sudden you have three Super Bowls in 6 years.
Well, since Ben retired, they've traded seven quarterbacks through Steeler headquarters. This year, they're for the fifth straight year, a different starting quarterback. They bring Rudolph back. I'm not sure why he wanted to come back. He got booed in an exhibition game in 23, took him to the playoffs, winning those last three games, and the Steelers dismissed him. So it comes down to Wilson 37 and Rodgers is going to be 42. Now, let me ask you, Jeff. Rodgers is a 20-year veteran. Tomlin didn't like it when Roethlisberger changed plays at the line of scrimmage. He did not like it when Russell Wilson did it against Cincy and threw for 500 yards. How'd that work out? They lost five straight games after that. Who's going to tell Aaron Rodgers you can't change your play at the line of scrimmage?
Nobody. Nobody. And I'll tell you, I bet you 5.5 of that 6 hour meeting was him getting the lay of the land of like, okay, you guys have had quarterbacks, but since Ben, you haven't had one like me. And like Ben, I'm going to change plays. I'm going to go in a rhythm. I want things my way. And it's not to say that in the last few years, coordinators haven't tried to cater to the talents of their players or involve players in meetings so they can find the best plays. They have. But with Aaron, I, so in the inevitability that this is probably going to happen, I'm starting to buy into the chaos side of it. Like that Aaron Rodgers could come in and shake some things up. I mean, Aaron's not afraid to say what he's thinking. I think maybe on the offensive side, there are some guys that need someone to call them out, someone that they respect that's won a Super Bowl, that's going to be a Hall of Famer, that and not Russ, but someone like Aaron who's going to bring that personality. Like he needles at guys. He's not afraid to rip guys. I don't think he's as bad a clubhouse guy as he's made out to be, but if Broderick jokes around about something, he'll put him in his place or maybe rip him on national television. Like, I think there's some of that's good for this team. But bottom line with bringing in a 41, soon to be 42-year-old is that you're not setting yourself up for the future. You just have a stopgap. Uh, they might tell you that, oh yeah, we'll have that stopgap, but we've got all the other play. How much money are you spending on Aaron Rodgers that you could have spent on a young defensive lineman or another position where you could have been more aggressive in free agency?
Well, let's look at the other scenario. So let's say they go with Mason Rudolph,
Hmm.
maybe take a quarterback in the fourth round. It's not a good year for quarterbacks. And all this talk, they want a running quarterback, running quarterback. I'm not sure why they're so fascinated by that. But I would let Rudolph go, take someone fourth round, and then look at 2026, and maybe you can get a quarterback with a first or second pick with a better draft.
Well, and Ed, I understand why they're looking at a running quarterback. I mean, the best team in the division has a running quarterback. The last few Super Bowl champions between Hurts and Mahomes are guys that can scramble, that have pocket mobility. But if that's the case, why did you not sign Fields? And I mean, make no mistake, Mason Rudolph is not a running quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is not a running quarterback. Skylar Thompson is not a running quarterback, who's the other quarterback they have signed. So if that's something that's important to you, why have you gone in this direction? I get it why Mason signed here. He had some success here in his last couple of games. And in his mind, and it's probably his agent's mind, like, hey, there's a chance Aaron doesn't sign there and he could be the starting quarterback. So of all of his options, this is probably the one that gives him the best chance to be a starter again. And I know that the glass half full would say, well, maybe he'll be Geno Smith and find something. Uh, that's a great story, but probably too Hollywood for me.
So why is Russell Wilson sticking around? He's a smart guy. He has to know the Steelers really don't want him.
Yeah, but I think once you get into a season, like some of that stuff gets forgotten. Like if he's going to be the starting quarterback of the Steelers, how he got there, that goes out the window once you get into OTAs. I really don't think in the room that's as big a deal. I still think Cleveland is an option, and I think the Giants are an option depending on what they do in the draft. I think Russ's play right now, and maybe this is what Aaron is thinking too. I'll sit back, wait to see what happens after the draft, and see where the dust settles, and then maybe even into training camp. Let's see who might be dealing with an injury, and I can go to a situation there. I those both those guys have had great careers, but I think Aaron's perfect spot is a team like Minnesota that's ready to win and maybe looking for an
But they said they're
experienced
not
guy.
interested in signing him.
Right, right. They're going to go with a guy who's never started a game in the NFL. So, I mean, what does that tell you?
So how long did the Steelers wait, Jeff? How long did they say we're going to wait here? You want to go into July close to camp and still not have a
No.
decision?
No, I think you need to know from Aaron before the draft. I mean, there's really nothing that's going on right now. I mean, there'll be owners meetings the end of this week, but there's nothing that's with a team standpoint that you have to have somebody in place. But OTAs will start in May. The draft is obviously the end of April. You want to know going into that draft what your quarterback situation is. And remember, when you're thinking about a late round quarterback, very, very, very few of those hit. Brock Purdy, Dak Prescott. That's it from day three. Even from day two, of all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, the only one is Jalen Hurts from day two. That was drafted day two of the draft in the last 10 years. So there's not to think that, okay, we'll find that guy. It's very hard. Plus, and I agree with the trade. You traded for Metcalf, you gave up a second round pick. So whatever you take in the first round, there are going to be some glaring needs. Do you take a flyer on a Jalen Milrow in the third or fourth round, or do you get a running back that you need? Do you get a defensive lineman that you need? Do you get another wide receiver that you need? So that there are other areas of need to build that foundation instead of going and chasing a quarterback that you wonder, okay, why is this guy in the third or fourth round anyway?
Well, Jeff, as soon as we get to the draft, I think all this is going to fall out. You make a lot of points there about what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers, but it is a risk what they're doing right now. It's going to be interesting to see what happens.
It will be. And, a lot of it, listen, if Aaron comes in, and I did the other day kind of a deep dive of all of his games. And overall, if you look at his stats, he's top 8 in a lot of categories. And I mean, that includes passing yards, touchdowns, um, plays of over 50 yards. And also the next gen stats is his expected completion rate, which takes out drops. And I think he was 5th in the NFL in terms of accuracy in that regard. So he's not horrible, but he just doesn't advance where you want to get to, which is a championship team. Sure, maybe he gets you into the playoffs again, but then what are you going to do once you get in there because the AFC is so loaded?
Hey, Jeff, thanks a lot for joining us. To get back to you, come draft time, be interesting to see what's going on. Hopefully by then the Steelers will figure out what they're going to do at quarterback.
If we're still waiting for Aaron Rodgers, then there are some issues.
Hey, thanks, Jeff. Have a good day.
Thanks, Ed.
I'll be right back with Ellen George.
At Armstrong, our goal is delivering the best possible experience to our customers. We hold our work to high standards, and the safety of our employees, as well as the community, is essential. Our employees, business partners, and equipment are easily identifiable. We strive to be as unintrusive as possible, restoring public and private property to the way we found it. Because at Armstrong, it's not just about getting the job done. It's about doing it right and doing it safely.
I'm back, joined to my right by the Swami George Abraham, to my left, the Tiger Albert Campman. Let's go to Spotlight. High school boys swimming PIAA championships, and in 3A, the North Allegheny boys win their 7th state swimming team title. Gus Miller, a gold medal in the 100 butterfly in a school record time of 48.67 seconds. He was 3rd in the 200 freestyle relay. He is a Westchester recruit. Ethan Maravich was 3rd in diving, and Danny Lesensky of North Allegheny had a silver in the 100 backstroke and a bronze in the 200 intermediate. Luke Lamb of Mars, gold medal, 100 backstroke. Last year he won the gold in that same event in 2A. He won that last year for North Catholic. He is a North Catholic student, but he wanted to move up in swimming, so he swims for Mars in 3. I didn't know you could do that. He is a U.S. Naval Academy recruit.
So enough said. They don't have a pool at North?
No, I don't know. He swam there last year, so that's a good question, George. I don't know if they have a pool there, but I guess if you want to move up, like Roth from Elwood City, but he swam for Riverside, right? But Elwood City doesn't have a pool.
That's different, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the same situation. That might be something I'll have to dig into. And in boys 2A, Isaac Barton of Freeport, he took 1st in the 50 freestyle in the para event and 1st in the 100 free in a para event. And the girls PIAA swimming 3A, the North Alleghany's girls placed 4th in team championships. They're disappointed. One and another. I think they'd won 3 or 4 in a row, something like that. Claire Baku was 2nd in the 200 freestyle and 2nd in the 500 freestyle. Julia Tenkowski was 4th in the 500 freestyle. Juliet Hood, North Allegheny, 3rd in diving. Sarah Schaefer, Pine Richland, she was 3rd in the breaststroke. Maya Lee of Mars, she was 6th in diving. And Ellie Waters of Seneca Valley, she was 4th in diving. 2A girls swimming, Gabriella Elk of Hampton, she won a gold medal diving. She is a Delaware commit. Just amazing how many of the swimmers around here, you don't think about it, and they get Division I offers. Molly Masella, Slippery Rock High School, she was 6th in diving. Kara Schreckengoss of Freeport, gold medal, 100 butterfly, and 5th in the 200 intermediate. She's had a phenomenal career. Lainey Sheets of Hampton, 2nd in the 100 butterfly. Freeport was 3rd in the team 200 medley relay and 4th in team scoring. Casey Schreckengoss of Freeport, she was 4th in the 100 butterfly and 7th in the 100 freestyle. And pit recruit, a Knox senior, Giona Lavarini, she was a silver medal in the 100-yard backstroke. And listen to this, guys. She lost by 0.03 of a second, or as Bob Prince would say, by a gnat's eyelash.
Yes.
I mean, how do you figure that out?
300.
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
it's like, what, a
everything's-
fingernail? Beat ya?
Oh, yeah,
Everything's electrical.
Everything's electric.
Yeah. Hey, and in high school hockey, 3A Penguins Cup, Seneca Valley 3, South Fayette 2, in 3 overtimes, a winning goal by Marshall Hewitt. And then in Pennsylvania Cup Championship, Seneca Valley 7, Holy Ghost Prep 2, Braden Morn had a hat trick, Jimmy Murtha with 2 goals. It is the Raiders' first ever state championship in hockey. They finish a great season, 19-5.
Triple overtime victory. I give the glory to the goaltender. I guarantee
Yes.
he had to make some unbelievable stops in 3 overtimes. Somewhere along the line, he kept it going.
And the 2A Penguins Cup, Avonworth 7, Mars 1. Here's the unusual thing here during the regular season. Mars beat them twice. That third one's tough, isn't it?
is.
We say that all the time.
Yeah, Kentucky and Tennessee coming up the same way this weekend. It's that tough. The third one's tough.
And the quarterfinals, Mars defeated Chartiers Valley 3-2. Hey, high school basketball, PIAA girls 4A semifinals, Lansdowne Catholic 54, North Catholic 16. I know it's a little bit of a shocking score to see that. Lansdowne Catholic was leading 14-11. They went on a 16-0 run and never looked back.
I want to see that team play.
Yeah,
because I saw
they
North
beat a
Catholic.
good North Catholic team.
They didn't beat them.
Yeah,
They trounced them.
Sam Ware led North Catholic with 10 points. North Catholic finishes a great season with a young team, 25-5. In the quarterfinals, North Catholic 57, Harbor Creek 33. Brady Weiner had 18 points and Sarah Lockery had 12. And in boys 4A semifinals, Berks Catholic 67, North Catholic 59. Jason Fredericks had 20. He had a season average of 19. Owen Madelon added 17. North Catholic finishes an outstanding year, 22-7.
Yeah, my grandsons played against them, and I saw the Frederick kid is the real deal, no question.
Let's go to college basketball, a little local flavor. Butler's Ethan Morton, our male athlete of the year. I would say 5 years ago. Wow. He helped Colorado State to a first-round win, 78-70 over Memphis. And then in the second round, Maryland won 72-71 on a buzzer beater by Derek Queen over Morton's outstretched hand.
He couldn't have been in
couldn't
a
have played
better.
any better, right?
No, he would have been in his pocket if he had been any closer.
I said, he can't make that shot. He's sliding to his left and went in.
Well, I know for
That
sure
was it.
one thing for sure. I watched it 30 times. It was a walk. You can't take 3 steps.
Was it a walk?
Oh my God! But see, they don't call it anymore.
But
Yeah.
listen,
So
here's the funny
They
part.
don't call it.
And they're calling it a gather step. There is no gather step in college. There is in the pros.
Okay.
There is no gather step.
What is a gather step?
No,
Like the hopping,
Yeah.
you know.
The third step. is a
Yeah.
gather.
No, you guys know better than what Morton did was right. He's 6'6", and he forced him to the side.
Best he
where
could.
he had to twist his body and make a shot.
Yeah, he pounded the wrong foot and banked it off the board. He was going left and shot. Oh, no. He couldn't
The
have played
defense was
anybody.
awesome. He played great defense.
He
Oh,
did. He did.
They're the best.
Yeah.
Colorado State finishes 26-10, and for Morton, he finishes his college career with a 5th NCAA tournament. First 4 were at Purdue.
Well, I will tell you this for sure. I'm sitting here alive today. He'll be successful wherever he goes.
Yeah.
Do you understand? That kid has it together.
He's going to be a coach. I think.
Whatever he's going to be, he's going to be really good at it.
He's
Hey,
too smart for that.
Yeah, I mean, he's got an engineering degree, I
Yeah,
think, from Purdue.
he's too smart.
Hey, in the women NCAA, our 2024 Female Athlete of the Year from North Catholic, now a freshman at Harvard, Elena Rocco. She helped the Harvard Crimson make the tournament. Unfortunately, they lost first-round game to Michigan State, 64-50. They finished 24-6. Nice thing for her as a freshman, she played in every game and averaged 4 points a game. She's
Yeah.
going to have a
And
nice
you get a
3
chance
years
to
ahead of
play?
her. Yes,
But more importantly, at Harvard.
at Harvard.
And I have one thing: no portal there. They're not. She's not getting beat out by somebody that was at
Come in.
Westminster.
Right.
No.
Hey, our stories of the NFL and with the Steelers, their new soap opera, Search for Tomorrow's Quarterback. The quarterback will be the 5th different quarterback to start a season in the last 5 years, and 7 quarterbacks have paraded through Steeler headquarters since Big Ben retired. So now here it is. Aaron Rodgers, not to be confused with Mr. Rodgers, playing the Steelers like a fiddle, biding his time. Could the Steelers have screwed this up anymore? Russell Wilson, I don't think they run.
They don't want him.
They don't want him.
No, they would have signed him already.
And they just signed him. So
Yes.
how long do you stay with this deal with Aaron Rodgers? He was in, talked to them, 6-hour meeting. Now I ask you guys this. He's a 20-year veteran. Is there a defense he hasn't seen? So you're going to tell him not to change your play at the line of scrimmage, which Tomlin didn't like Roethlisberger doing or Wilson doing. If you don't want him to change the play at the line of scrimmage,
Don't bring him in.
Good point. Don't bring him in. And
Is he coming, Al? Is he coming?
Yeah, he's going to come to Steelers. I think so.
I heard something today. I heard he's going to the 49ers.
Well, one thing, if they don't, then they're going with Rand.
Well, let me ask you this. If Justin Fields was your guy, why didn't you match the offer from the Jets? 2 years,
They must
$40
have thought he
million.
was a guy. I like him, but they didn't. They must not like him that much.
Well, they
That's all I can
indicated he
say.
would. So who's making this decision on Rodgers? Is it Art Rooney? Is it Tomlin? Omar Khan? Who's pulling the trigger here?
I have no idea.
I'd say
what's
it's
going on there.
could go. I would say it's not one of them.
I think leaning more towards Tomlin.
I would. He's
I-
been there long enough. He should call the shots.
Now, Mason Rudolph's coming back, and I have to ask this question: why? For this reason. 2003 exhibition game at Acrisure, he comes on the field replacing Trubisky. He gets booed. Then he leads them to the playoffs, winning 3 straight games, and the Steelers don't want him. So now he's coming back with get slapped, turn the other cheek. I'm not sure if you're going to bring him back. This is my suggestion. Then ride with him. Maybe take a quarterback in the 4th round and look for someone in next year's draft.
There's no quarterbacks out there. That's the bottom line.
The only one I like is Will Howard.
The bottom line. No, I'm talking about anywhere. I'm talking about
yeah.
that's really it's the hardest position to find in
Right.
sports. So
They're going to take Jackson Dart if he's there.
I like him, but I like Will Howard's size and combination of running and throwing.
I saw
How
too many
do
of
you
his
know?
balls bouncing on the ground at the combine, but that's
I don't know. How much stock do you put in that?
I don't know. They have it for a reason.
I'm going to go by what Chuck Noll used to say when my old high school coach, Paul Yorm, the Scots would come back and say, he jumped this far, he benched this. Noll would say, put the film on, let me see how he
Sure,
plays.
everybody
So-
at this table believes that. You know,
Yeah.
that's what you see.
Yeah, he's not running the ball in the pros. That's where he made his hay.
Yeah, it's and now. At what point do the Steelers say, "Hey, look, Aaron, we're giving you 24 hours to make a
They
decision"?
won't make that point because they need a quarterback.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's driving the bus here.
Yeah, and I think he's the way he's done it forever. It hasn't changed anything, and every team needs one. They're all we're in Steeler territory, but every team does this.
So how does this sit with your building for the future? You bring in a 42-year-old. Well, what if he says, "I want a 2-year contract"?
They're going to give him a 2-year contract.
All right,
There's
good.
no quarterbacks out there, Ben. That's the problem.
I don't think this has a good ending.
That's
Well, it probably doesn't.
Doesn't appear to.
Uh-huh.
All right, what's coming up here? Springtime, Major League Baseball.
Baseball.
Pirates open the season at Miami. Manager Derek Shelton says they're going to compete for the division. You think
I
that
believe
too?
that. Mhm.
GM Sherrington says we're building from within. That's why with free agency they bought a broken bat and a jock strap. So here's 2024, the National League Central. First place the Brewers. They did lose a couple key players. It's tied for second, St. Louis. They were 83 and 79 along with the Cubs. Now, the Cardinals say they're rebuilding, and the Cubs have a young team. They have a lot of talent. Cincy was in 4th, 77-85. Terry Francona, one of your favorites, a new manager. This is a young team with a lot of talent, and then the Pirates were last.
Yeah, and when you talk about talent, they're talking about on the field. The best pitching staff in the league is Pittsburgh. Pirates have the best pitching staff. Well, that's got to carry them. They need a couple surprises on the field. I understand that. Gonzalez, Hayes, and Pham have to step up completely, and hopefully Reynolds and Cruz continue what they're doing.
Well, everything starts with Skeens. I mean, nationally, Rookie of the Year, All-Star starter, a Major League Baseball first team, all-team, third in the NFL, Cy Young. I look for him to win the Cy Young, to win 18 games. I don't think it's going to be enough. I'm hoping you're right, but I look at the outfield. Okay, you got Reynolds and Cruz. Cruz is yet to play a full year in center field. Then you got Tommy Pham, 37. You got McCutcheon, 38, who can't play in the outfield. anymore, and Sawinski's a career 200 hitter. To me, there's some glaring weaknesses there in the outfield.
Well, since got sent down, so that we don't have to worry about him.
Okay.
Yeah, but Pham was definitely an upgrade what they had out there before. So he
Well, I wanted them last year, and you didn't like
he'll
them.
play he'll play hard. He'll play harder than what they're used to. I like guys that run the bases hard, that play hard every day. And he's not there. He shouldn't be a guy that depends on to win the championship. He should be the guy in there that's going to do the job.
Well, an area that I thought it was weak, I think actually is fairly good, solid, is catching. Joey Bart was a surprise.
Yeah.
13 homers, 45 RBIs. Now, is Rodriguez going to be healthy? I think this could be a bright spot for them.
It is.
And,
It really is.
and the starters, you add Mitch Keller. My only question with Mitch is an endurance issue. He seems to fade after he starts strong, and Bailey Falter, I think, has potential. Then you could fill in a couple other guys in there, but the bullpen is the big issue. David Bednar has to get back to his all-star form.
That's your boy,
The
Eddie.
bullpen killed him. Well, he was the bull
But I'm
for
saying
a while.
you're right though.
He was a
he has to
lockdown
be the guy. He has to be the guy.
Yeah,
There's no
if
question.
he's not the closer, who is?
He's
No,
the
he's the
closer.
closer.
Yeah.
He needs to get the job done if they're going to be there. And then my concern, first base, who's on first, and then third base.
I heard the Horwitz coming back in April. If
Okay.
that's true, I'm really excited about that. That's good.
And then third base, Key Brian Hayes. We've heard so much about his talent, but his injuries have held him back. He's yet to reach his potential. How long do you go with him?
This will be the last year if he doesn't play well.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's look at the predictions.
One thing you're forgetting is about Bubba Chandler. He's the number one prospect in pitching in baseball. He'll be up and.
But he's not in the rotation.
He'll be up in
He'll
May.
be
But,
up.
they
All right.
They always cut money. You know
Yeah,
that.
Okay.
So he'll be up in
All right,
June.
listen,
Uh-huh.
no one wishes they've had 9 straight losing seasons. It was nice to see them have a winning season. I mean, 82-80 would be nice.
I'll take it.
My prediction is going to be 78-84. I don't see enough depth there in certain places. The outfield, I'm concerned about the bullpen. I think Skeens is going to win 17 or 18 games to be a Cy Young Award winner. What are you saying?
85, 86, 87. I said that forever.
And that could be second place in the division.
I believe
at
that
least.
with my heart. I've said it. I won't back down from what I said for 5 years.
80.
80 wins.
Matt.
I see the surprise team being Cincy this year.
They could.
I
be.
think Francona's a great manager. They got some very
He
young.
doesn't play though. That's one thing.
talent. Yeah, he doesn't play, but he's won wherever he's.
The reason I think
he's
they could
been.
be pretty good is he went there. He wouldn't have went there if he thought they were going to win 30 games.
Good pitching, don't they? Supposed to have good pitching?
Their pitchers all been hurt. Let's see if they come back.
That's
Yeah,
the key.
they got a lot of young players. Hey, let's look over at March Madness. Some other local interests. Hats off to Robert Morris. Battled the number 1 scoring team in the country, Alabama, down to the wire before losing 90-81. They finished 26-9. There's no Pitt, no West Virginia. NCAA, there's West Virginia, but the women lost in the second round to North Carolina 58-47. They finished 25-7. The only team we have left to root for is Duquesne women in the NIT. They made the Sweet 16 for the second year in a row, led by Megan McConnell. She's second all-time scoring with 1,700 points. First all-time.
Robert
in
Morris.
steals.
Robert Morris put the of all the teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
They were number 1 in playing. They played their best. They played the team off their pants
Yes,
off.
they did.
Andy Toole should get a big contract from that.
And,
Right.
and last year we talked about Duquesne. Now they're back to where they were. They went first time they made the playoffs in 46
New
years.
coach.
13-19
New
this
coach,
year.
tough.
Take
Until you get money behind the program, big money. I'm talking big money.
yeah,
You
big
can't
money.
Be, you can't
Well,
be successful.
that's a
in that.
topic coming up because
You
Jeff
can't be
Capel
successful.
says he needs more money.
He does.
Good luck with that. Hey, that's it for us. Run out of time. We'll see you next time.